EASIT, Easy Access for Social Inclusion Training.
Welcome to Unit 4, The Profession, Element 1, Personal Skills. Interviews with Professionals, Audio Description, Part 2. The video was produced by University of Trieste in cooperation with Zao Trisa. This is the second part of the video featuring interviews with esteemed experts in the field of audio description: Bernd Benecke, Louise Fryer, Joel Snyder, and Christopher Taylor. The interviews were conducted by University of Trieste. The experts explain how they see the future of their profession and whether they think that implementing easy-to-understand strategies in audio description would become a part of their profession. How do you see the future of your profession?
Audio description is going to increase. We see this already with all the streaming services coming up, and in these times of pandemic, of course, everything gets streamed. Conferences are streamed, and of course lectures in universities are streamed. All this is material that should be audio described, so I think audio description is really going up.
How do I see the future? Well, the need for trained audio describers is currently increasing, especially as more and more content is streamed. I expect this to continue. There are moves to introduce automatic visual recognition. Progress is slow because AI can identify static images quite well, but it can't yet link continuing characters or locations. So it might say there's a woman on a beach, but it won't be able to identify the same woman on the same beach in the next shot. Humans are very good at picking up contextual clues to make a coherent whole. I expect workflows will be designed where AI can do some of the work and a human describer does the rest, but it's still a long way off.
I often talk about two aspects that aspects that are on the horizon for audio description that I think will be very, very important. First is a technical aspect, really. Soon enough, the use of smartphones, if it isn't already, will be ubiquitous. Everyone will have a smartphone. It will be like a home telephone or having a home address, if you will. And I think apps now, and there are half a dozen of them around the world, apps that you download, and then that app allows you to then pair a downloaded audio description script with whatever is on your television right then or in the movie theater. It listens and it automatically syncs the description. I think this is significant, and some of those apps have the capability of including captions, including sign interpretation, enhancing sound for people who are hard of hearing, not just turning up the volume, but also the download of an alternate language track, so that grandma who only speaks Spanish can go with the family to the film in an American movie theater. The film is playing in English, but she's using that app and hearing the dub in Spanish, or perhaps reading subtitles. That could happen too. So that's a technical aspect that has already begun to take hold. But it's still in its infancy. I think it will become huge within the next 10 years. That's my prediction. The other aspect has to do with is more of a programmatic aspect. I think that sooner or later, to a certain extent, not totally by any means, audio describers are going to go out of business. And what I mean by that is that more filmmakers, more videographers, more people dealing with the arts that are described will become aware of description and start using it as an aesthetic innovation, building it in from the get-go, so that maybe there's a narrator character who speaks descriptively, actually describes as the program continues, if you will, and in a way that is not jarring. It seems as though it's part of the program. It's built in from the beginning so that it's no longer, description is no longer considered some sort of post-production activity that, well, we don't need to worry about that. We're making a film and other folks, the localization folks, will deal with that. No, it can be used as an aesthetic innovation. It can be used in ways that are, that really will make for more significant aesthetics in the production of film, in the production of video.
Well, first, technological. The personalization revolution, which I'd already mentioned, this will continue to break new ground, and depending on market demand and the awareness on the part of the stakeholders involved, it will bring in as yet unknown possibilities for the blind and sight-impaired community. Secondly, the question of accessibility. And this movement towards universal design, this will see a change in attitudes about how AD is considered among the public at large and as well as among persons with sight loss. As regards screen AD, the introduction of audio description and the assistance of end users at the beginning of the filmmaking process will turn AD from being an addition to a film product to being an integral part. And the same logic applies to museum AD, where layout and directionality will form part of the museum design process. So as museums change their role in society, which they have been doing for some time now, through hands-on exhibits, attractive layouts, technological enhancement, blah, 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 the provision of AD will be considered just a normal part of that plan. Thirdly, there are some ethical considerations. A recent publication describing diversity points out how even the most well-meaning describers fall foul of political incorrectness issues. So this manifests itself, for example, in the description of characters in terms of race, gender, age, disability, etc. And this publication refers specifically to theatre AD, though its recommendations can equally apply to all kinds of screen product as well. For example, it was noted that white as a skin colour was never highlighted, whereas black was. Women's appearance came into much more description than men's, and so on. So we can thus expect that describers in the future will be coached on how to handle description in a non-discriminatory way.
Do you think that implementing easy-to-understand strategies in audio description will become a part of your profession?
Easy-to-understand strategies could be useful for some types of audience and for some types of content. I'm not ruling it out, but some blind or partially blind people revel in word pictures, and I wouldn't want to deprive them of that.
Finally, do you think that implementing easy-to-understand strategies in description will become a part of the profession? And I think so. You know, listenability, easy to understand, that's going to be a plus for really anybody listening to description. And again, it can be a sighted person who is experiencing an audio movie. They love that film they saw last week and they're going on a long car trip. They want to experience the film again. Well, they're not going to have a television playing or a screen, hopefully, while they're driving the car. But if they hear the original audio track with description, and it's done in a way that is easy to listen to, I think that makes all the difference in the world and allows them to vividly experience the movie once again. And there too, it increases the reach of audio description, and that's going to be good for all of us.
Well, they should, because the aim is always to provide the best possible description to be understandable by the most number of people, and the highest number of people. So, if concision and clarity are the name of the game, then what you're doing with EasyIt and so on should definitely become a part of the logic behind any audio description.
Well, I don't know. What I do not think is that we get an easy to understand description additionally to the normal audio description, because that would mean you would need more money and there is no money in the field. But if you in this project can offer us some strategies how to make audio description more easy to understand, I would be grateful to use this.
The source of this video is University of Trieste. year 2020.
The project EASIT has received funding from the European Commission under the Erasmus Plus Strategic Partnerships for Higher Education Programme, Grant Agreement 2018-1 ES01 KA203 05275. The European Commission's support for the production of this publication does not constitute an endorsement of the contents, which reflect the views only of the authors, and the Commission cannot be held responsible for any use which may be made of the information contained therein. This work is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Share Alike 4.0 International License. Partners of the EASIT project: Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona, Università degli Studi di Trieste, Universidade de Vigo, Stiftung Universität Hildesheim, SDI München, Dyslexie-Verbundet, Radio Televizija Slovenija, Zavod RISA. EASIT, Easy Access for Social Inclusion Training.